This is W2FJH bringing up the STNY digital voice net on Grandma Stock with 31367, wires extra in Pete 3721, and on Zoom. The primary purpose of the STNY digital voice net is to help foster an active digital voice community in the southern tier of New York and to provide a forum for those that are interested or have questions regarding various digital voice topics. While this net is primarily for the southern tier, all stations are more than welcome to check in. This net meets weekly on Saturdays at 7 p.m. Again, the call is Whiskey 2, Foxtrot Juliet Hotel, and the name here is Frank. Hello, first, take a standby for any stations with emergency or priority traffic. Please call now. Okay, now that there. If there is any emergency or priority traffic during this event, please give your call sign, followed by the word break is spoken 2 times. Please leave a 4 to 5 second pause between transmissions for a briefing station or for those who wish to disconnect the talk group. This is a direct net, and the format will follow announcements, questions, and comments. This net utilizes NetLogger, which can be found at netlogger.org. NetLogger is not required, and we will take additional voice checks. For more information about this net or join the Zoom meeting, please visit stnydmr.net. That's Sierra Tango November Yankee Delta Mike Romeo.net. You can also find us on 73.net. That's Sierra Echo Victor Echo November numeric number 3.net. This net will prioritize short-time mobile in and out or emergency power stations, followed by NetLogger check-ins, followed by voice check-ins. We currently do have 4 stations checked in through NetLogger, or those that I saw key up shortly before the net here. The net would like to recognize JC9 HEK Brian, N30JP Nick, N2NCD Paul, and AI6IG John. All right, when checking in, please give your call sign, your name, and your location. So let's take a standby. Any stations that are short time, mobile, in and out, or emergency power, please call now. Okay, nothing heard there. So let's take a standby for any and all stations that would like to check into the STNY digital voice net. Please call now. Good evening, Frank and everyone. This is Ed, November Echo 2 Whiskey checking in.
Hello, everybody. This is Rick, NN2K, and I'm located near Sanitarium Springs, New York.
Okay, and I would like to recognize NHW Ed from Vinton and NN2K Rich from checking in from Sanitarium Springs, New York this evening. Were there any other stations to join us? Please call. This is November 2, Quebec, Foxtrot Delta. The name is Mel, Mike Alpha Lima, and I am in Corinth, New York. Okay, then I would like to recognize N2QFD Mel. All right, let's kick things off here. If there's any announcements for this evening, please call now. Okay, nothing heard there. I did have one announcement. It's kind of off in the future a bit there, but I did see that the Owego Strawberry Festival, for those that might be in the area or those that might be outside, but are in traveling area. It is on June 16th and 17th. Yeah, scheduled for this year. So maybe for those traveling, maybe it'd be a good time to know about it now, so maybe you can make plans there. That was all I had to say there. But, all right, let's move on to any questions. If there's any questions for this Matt, please call me. Okay, then we will kick things off for comments. And I do apologize for making a late post within that topic. I was kind of debating there. I kind of just got up a quick one here. So hopefully it's a good one. But planning on potentially not having it. Well, the next topic for this evening is budgeting for ham radio equipment. Do you have any tips or tricks on finding deals on ham radio gear? Or do you mostly just you mostly buy new and just save some money away each week or that or any feedback that way? So first on my list is Casey and HEK. Brian, how was your week there? This is KC9 and HEK. Good evening, Frank. Hello to the rest of the group. Week has been an okay week. Weather has certainly been variable though. Last weekend up in the 80s and on Monday down into the 40s and snow Tuesday and back up into the 70s and 80s again yesterday on a wild ride. As far as the topic goes, I don't have an overabundance of equipment. Most of my equipment, other than my NHL 878, is probably at least 15 years old. I sit here with a Kenwood TS2000 that I bought back in I think 2003 or 2004. When I get little stuff, I usually try to pick it up at the handstands. I usually go to one in Rochester every year and one in Lancaster. And then occasionally I got a friend, WB2LYL. He's originally from the Boston area, Boston, Massachusetts. We'll go to Hamptons up there, visit some of his family and friends in that area. So as far as the expenditures go, I really don't spend that much on the hobby. Get ready to look for some perks to put up a different antenna. Think of an end halfway. Going to be shopping a little bit for a 49 to 1 on it. And we'll probably do that at the Rochester Campus. It's coming up the first week of June. With that, I will turn it over to Mick. N3OJP. This is KC9 HEK.
Oh, thank you, Brian. Good evening, everybody on the net. Oh, this week, like Brian said, a lot of ups and downs with the weather. Had a few things going on here at home, but I needed to get outside a little bit. Had to fix a friend of mine's pressure washer. Ended up putting a new pump on. It's a 3,800 psi, and a lot involved in trying to repair the old one, so I just ended up putting a new one on. So he's back in business. Then one day I was going to take it easy. Allergies were bothering me, and daughter called me up, and the water heater was leaking. It was only about 4 years old, so I took it out of her house, took it up to Home Depot, and got a pretty good proration on it. What hurt was I had to buy a new one, and these things have skyrocketed in prices. Went from $420 to $550. But you need hot water. But like I say, the proration was pretty good, probably close to 80% of the original price. And the one club here, we've had we're celebrating 100 years of since it came in existence. So that was kind of exciting. we had a special event out at a park last weekend. Let me get a let me get another bite here. And then all members of the club were allowed to work this week with a special event call. The basic call was a W3S, and I used W3S/7. And wanted to work PSK 31. I didn't want to sit on the radio all day and call CQ through the microphone. I don't want to go hoarse. So I ended up with close to 30, just about all of them on 20 meters. Only got a couple on 40. 40 was kind of dead for PSK 31. But all in all, I had fun. Everybody that contacted me wished us well. Just enjoyable. As far as budgeting, I've got a couple 7300s that I did budget for, but pretty much everything else is somewhat used. A lot of the 2 meter. Oh, I've got some 6 meter. That's pretty much all, secondhand equipment. You pick up at flea markets or through a silent key auction. The antennas, picked them up at some Hamfest, relatively inexpensive. I do have an off-center fed. It's a Buckmaster, but I like to make antennas. The end-fed halfways and some verticals. So that's hams are cheap, as we all know. So we try to find innovative ways to come up with antennas and radios and everything else that goes with it. So I guess I'm in that mode too. The last club meeting, they put on the table a bunch of connectors from a silent key auction, $2 a piece. So I picked up a few more connectors, and you can always use those. Okay, Frank, I'll turn it back to you. That control, a little long-winded there, but that's what's been going on here this week. W2FJH and 30JP. Yeah, very good there, Nick. And yeah, something that Brian mentioned too, the Rochester campus. I looked in our 73 calendar, and I'm not seeing that. I have to get in there and try to look for the summer campus and get them actually on 73 because I wasn't aware of that one. So. All right, and also I like what Brian does. I should probably I'm going to implement that a little. So he hands it off to the next person on the list there. So what I'll do is Paul, N2NCB is next on my list. I will see how his week is. And Paul, if you could hand it over to AI6IG, John, then he'll hand it back to me. So over to you there, Paul.
Hello again, Frank and all into NCB here. Well, like Brian said, the weather was up and down, and we had some fun times here this afternoon as well. And the wind got up to 30 miles an hour according to the anemometer. Only about 0.22 inches of rain, but at least last I looked, and so rain kind of skirted us that way, but it get a little windy. So as far as I can tell, everything survived, so that's good. And spent time outside today, and the breeze was nice. It was windy practically all day, but the breeze was nice. And one of the things I finally decided to do, since the grandkids are a lot bigger now, is took down the play set. Not completely dismantled, but it's out of the way. Let's put it that way. And as far as hand stuff, I don't buy anything unless it's new. My luck on used stuff, no matter what, cars, radios, you name it, is not good. And so I became a fast learner. And so it's new. And if it's something I want, then I just go ahead and get it. But sometimes it takes a little thought process. But some of it helps when your wife is also with you. So with that, we'll turn it back to you, Frank. Take care all. Into NCB.
Hey, very good there, Paul. And yes, that would be a huge benefit if my wife also was a hand. Yeah. But yeah, I'm with you on that. A lot of times I buy new. I haven't been in the hand business there for long enough there to buy used and try to I don't know. I have a feeling that I'll get scammed somehow. It'll work and then a couple days later it won't work. So that's kind of my fear. All right, next on my list is I6 IG John. And if you could, John, if you could pass it over to NE2W, Ed is after you, so we'll give that a shot. So AI6 IG, how was your week there?
Yeah, this is AI6 IG. Decent. The weather's getting better. Still cool at night. Low 80 by day. Slowly but surely getting the house ready to sell. Had a brother that had a slight problem and ended up in the hospital. Tompkins County Hospital, I think they call it, I can't remember what they call it, Cayuga Medical Center. So I've been dealing with doctors over the phone because I'm the emergency contact. But everything's going okay there. As far as equipment, for years I bought used equipment with the attitude that it was broken, and I bought stuff I wanted to learn how to fix. So I used to use a lot of tube and hybrid tube equipment, but as the guys have gotten older, I'm not as psyched to do stuff like that as I used to be. So generally now I still buy used, but I buy stuff that's recently manufactured and used. So it saves me a couple of $100. As M2 OJP knows, we tried to hook up this week with I had a G90 that I bought and used. It was not even 3 months old when I bought it. The guy bought it and his wife turned around and bought him a brand new IC705. So he immediately put that up for sale. And it turned out to be a good buy for me. So I saved a couple $100 and got a nice little system. So I try to look for deals when they come along. I'll grab them, but I don't do it very often anymore. So I'm pretty much happy with what I have. In fact, I got stuff I want to get rid of if anybody's interested. This is Alpha India STNY Golf, and I'll turn it over to Ed.
I guess it's my turn. Good evening, everyone. This is Ed, NE2W in Binghamton. Had a busy day today. Our local club operated special event station K2M from the Marconi Tower. The weather was nice for a change. This is like our 6th year doing it. And it's usually cold, maybe snowing, but today it was just windy. And everyone seemed to have a good time. We had 5 stations set up, 80 through 10 and also 17 meters. We didn't do PSK 31, we did some FT8. Wasn't sure we'd get that going, but Gary AB2G Day fixed his audio problem in time for the get together from the Marconi Tower here in Binghamton. Erected back in 1913 to do wireless to a moving train. First time that was ever done. Before that, wireless was text to text. Let me take a break. And glad to hear about your special event station there in Pennsylvania. Didn't get a chance to contact it, but glad it went well. And teams are cheap. I I got back into the hobby a couple of years ago, and my radios were old. They didn't have tones and that, so I didn't really have a 2 meter. I used to show up at the club meeting and find out it was canceled. Because PMs don't call each other, they just announce it on the repeater that there's no meeting or we're doing this. So I did buy a radio, an Yaesu FT3D. I wanted to buy a cheaper one, but my wife said, don't do that. She says, get the one with all the stuff, because you'll end up wanting that one. So I did, and I'm glad that I did, because it gave me exposure to the digital mode C4 FM, which is other tier from your there's about 10 repeaters all linked together through Wires X. So if you go in on one on C4 FM, you end up going out on all of them. And I am cheap. My latest purchase was I always wanted 2 meter all mode, get some CW and sideband on 2 meters as well. Managed to pick up one really cheap at an auction. I haven't set it up yet, but according to the thing, it's in good shape, so I should be good to go. And occasionally pick up radios people are no longer using, and they end up letting me borrow it, so that's helpful too. Well, that's about it from here. Back to you, Frank. Good net tonight. I invited some people I bumped into to join us. I don't know that they have DMR, but they may be on Zoom. Let's send E2W back to the group.
Thanks, Ed. And yes, I did get that email from what you had mentioned, one of the hands there about this thing. I don't know. I had to go back up the email to get his program, but I don't believe he checked in this email. I thought it was on Tony. But all right. Sorry, continuing there. Before I get to my next station, let me take a standby for any additional stations that would like to check into the STNY digital voice net. Please call now.
So this is AD30 Denny in Coral City, Florida. No traffic.
Right, and I would like to recognize AD30 in Coral City, Florida this evening, Danny. All right, next on my list is NN2K Rich. And then Rich, if you could pass the net along to N2QFD, Mel, that'd be great there. So Rich, how was your week there?
Okay, this is NN2K with the group. Good evening to everybody again. Had a good week, and also was at the event today at the Marconi site in downtown Binghamton with the Binghamton Radio Club. So I did see Ed there and several other people, and we had a good turnout of visitors this year, and some more club members too. So our club's getting more active and some more, more new members over the last several months. So that's good to see. And it was windy to say the least down there. So if there was no wind, it would have been just perfect. But we managed to make it through the whole day. It even got picked up just before the rain came in. I got my mowing done for the first time this year. I got about 1.5 acres to mow up here, and I got it done on Friday. It was just a perfect day for it. The grass was dry and the weather was nice. So I got that done, and we'll be doing that about every week until fall. And ham gear, I do buy new equipment every few years when I feel the need for it. I used to years ago. I used to buy new rigs, keep them for a while, and then sell them to finance another one. But that's when I didn't have a whole lot of money. But now when I buy a rig new, I just keep it, don't sell it. And I do have a lot of vintage gear that I've picked up over the last 8 years, 9 years or so. And I do enjoy tinkering with the older tube gear. And like I said, have a lot of it. I don't usually buy newer used gear that's surface mount and all that because that's beyond my capabilities to fix. So I don't bother with that. But the old gear with the tubes, you can get in there and see what you're doing and understand the circuits that I can do. Let's see. I think that's about it. I just wanted to mention I'm about 8 miles east of Binghamton, near the little town of Sanitarius Springs. So I think you said, Frank, to turn it to N2QED, I believe is what you said. Anyway, that's what I heard. So over to you. This is
Here is N2QSD. Thanks and good evening, everyone. Just recently moved from Elmira up to the southern Adirondacks, and it's been a up and down week up here as well. We're still waiting for the rain you guys have had to make it up this way. And it was nice to hear AD30 telling there, another friend from the southern tier. So with equipment-wise, lately I've bought more new equipment. It's been a long time, having been licensed since '93, but I try to time it around Hamfest. So while I might not buy it at the Hamfest, at least I'm only looking once a year. Here is N2QSD. We'll turn it back over to Net Control of Whiskey 2 Fox Juliet Hotel. Yeah, very good. Thanks, Mel. Yeah, that's actually a good idea. Just only buy ham gear around the ham fest. This is at least once a year, and you're not tempted to buy little things throughout the year. That's really good. All right, next on the list is 830 and Dave. Just in case you didn't catch from that topic, we were talking about budgeting for ham radio. If you have any tips or tricks on finding deals on ham gear, and also just discussing, new versus used and things on those ones. So I'll hand it over to you there, Danny. How's your week there?
With ladies for real. Yeah, not bad. It's been very dry down here and quite warm, but we've run into summer a little early, I think, this year. And but it's been very dry. We haven't had any rain to speak of since January, so we're starting to get drought down here. Hopefully, we're going to get some in the next few days. So I haven't done a whole lot of ham radio stuff. I've been outside and ride bikes and I don't get into the shed, which is kind of like the shack there in Ridge and River. I have a 10 by 12 shed, and it gets pretty steamy in there during the day. And let this drop effect.
Yeah, very good there, Danny. And yeah, I'm with you on that. Sometimes when I look at the radio and they have all these new features, and I'm like, oh, but I could do this, I could do this, I could do this. And I'm like, but would I really do that if I had the yeah, sometimes having all the features, they look nice, but they're not operating on those. So, a different thing. So, all right, I have reached the end of my list. So let's see if there's any additional stations that would like to check into STNY digital voice this evening. Please call now. All right, nothing heard there. I did have a quick question for Paul there. For continuing, I just want to also thank Brian. Actually, I think we saved a good chunk of time here by having so many patients checking in one after the other. So maybe we'll continue that trend moving forward. But I have a question for Paul. NGNCD. I was trying to listen to the StarNet this evening on 7.3, and I started listening at 6:31. I was wondering if that was just a quick net or did I have a problem getting into the 7.3? Sometimes, depending on if it's raining or not, it's a little fuzzy on my end. But that's also because I don't have antennas high enough in the air. But I never a call there to see if it was just a quick net this evening, or maybe I should look at more of my antennas placed.
No, it wasn't you this time, Craig. For whatever reason, the repeater was down. Uh, I think they got where it is. They got backup, but whatever, loss of power or something messed up at the repeater site. However you want to look at that, but no, I double checked before I started bringing up the StarNet, and I didn't get anything. So there are some things underfoot, but for another frequency. But for right now, 7.3 is down. There is no net. And as I like to say, the sun, if there's no net on Saturday, the sun will still rise on Sunday. Back to you, Frank, N2NCB.
Okay, thanks there, Paul. And yeah, I should probably listen to more analog in the area, but I do try to. I have it on my watch, but it buzzes at 6:30 every day. And if I'm not busy, I try to at least. I have a scanner upstairs, so I can at least try to listen. My mobile rig is downstairs, and I can't always get to that, but at least I try to listen every now and then. And it just kind of threw me because since I've been a ham, it's always been at 6:30 on every day there. You do an amazing job, and thank you for all of that. We're just curious. This was a new problem or something. So thanks, Paul. All right, this is WQHH with the STNY digital voice net, and well, let's take a final call here for any additional stations that would like to check in, or if any stations that have checked in with any comments, questions, or concerns, please call now. All right, then, here nothing then, we will wrap things up here. So I'd like to thank Brian, Mick, Paul, John, Ed, Rich, Mel, and Danny for joining me this evening. We'll be returning this talk loop back to our normal amateur radio use. We do have we do have the Zoom meeting up and running. We'll just be doing a rag tour this evening. I'll be hanging around. I do know it's the summer months though. So if somebody wants to do any rag two on Zoom this evening, that's perfectly fine. So we will close out the net here. Everybody have a great and safe week there. This is W2LJH and I'll be listening.